Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Country Club Classic presented by Dynamic Discs. We've got a great round in store for you today. My name is Robert McCall, and on the mic with me today, I've got Anthony Heuvel.
What's up, Robert?
What up, what up? We don't have a cool partner name yet, but...
Not yet.
Maybe someday.
We'll get
there. we'll see. We are out here at the Emporia Country Club in Emporia, Kansas. We've had a 1 day of tee times already, and this is our second day of tee times. And here's our lead card. Myself and Zackeriath Johnson tied at 4 under from yesterday, shooting 59s. McCabe shooting a 60, and then Kyle Webster with a 61. Pretty ideal scoring conditions so far out here at Country Club.
And scoring you guys did. Moving into hole 1, par 5, 1,135 feet. Now, Robert, you're known as just a big power player.
Super distance is what people know me as.
Yeah. How is it that you go about attacking this hole when you have people like Kyle Webster, like McCabe, who can just throw 50 feet farther than you?
Sure. I just this hole's a relatively easy 4 if you play for a 4. If you don't get outside of yourself, like this for me is a Ballista Pro. I'm letting it get kind of flat, and I like to be on the left side of this fairway so that I can throw another hyzer up over the hill.
Okay.
And from there, it's usually just a mid-range or a putter in. I like that play.
So you kind of took that hyzer flip to straight, where Zach is taking the hyzer out over the road and coming back in. So he's going to be a little bit more in the center right side of the fairway.
Yeah, and that's way down there. If you haven't played here before, that hyzer went quite a ways. Like he's feeling good.
Usually the hyzer is the more safe play. The hyzer flip is almost the more aggressive, get some turn line.
Emac's doing what I'm doing, but getting a little bit more distance and a little bit more flat out of it. So he's going to be quite a ways past mine up on the left side. That's a great spot to be.
Kyle's actually taking the sidearm, which for Kyle Webster works. For Anthony, that does not work.
For Robert, that doesn't work either. That was, and he's just mashed it. I mean, great angle out of his hand toward the sidewalk with the knowledge that it's going to finish right. That's a warhorse, if I remember correctly. So pretty overstable disc.
Very overstable. So like you said, you're going hyzer again with another Ballista Pro?
That's right. Yeah, a little bit more flip up on this would be nice, but as long as this travels in the range of 350 to 400 feet, I've got either a mid-range or putter left, and I feel pretty comfortable throwing that into the screen.
There's not a whole lot of danger on the second shot if you have a clean tee shot. If you put yourself in a good spot, you can throw just about anything you want.
That's exactly right. You can get pinched up on the right, but that was a fine spot to be. Zach's obviously in a fine spot here, and this is a mashed hyzer. He just needs that to stay over that tree. It does, and so he's in a great spot.
And he went the same thing. You went Ballista Pro. He went Enforcer.
That's right. Here's Emac with just a crunch.
Missile.
Yeah, and that's A1 position. If you're not trying to get a 3 here, which, I mean, I guess some of these guys could get a 3 if they really wanted to, but it's just such a safe, relatively easy 4 that most people just opt for that.
Yeah, and going for that 3, you have to throw 2 perfect max distance shots. When there's OB to worry about, usually there's wind you have to worry about, so that brings the 5 and 6 is much more into play.
Right. That's a good shot for Kyle there. And we see the U-disc average down here at the bottom. This hole does, in fact, play over par most of the time. That's because we've got a lot of people going for it and getting aggressive.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of that is going to come from your third shot here into the green or off the tee.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Too high and fading out left.
So I put mine, 20 feet or so. Really happy with that result. Zach leans on his forehand a lot. Looked like he was going to dunk that from our perspective, but easy drop in birdie. That's a good way to start the round.
I believe this is one of Kyle's soft harps.
It's nice and overstable. He leaves it out to the right and lets him move back left, and that's going to be pretty darn good. 15, 20. Nothing he can't handle.
And Eric actually throwing the suspect. I did not know he'd put that in his bag recently.
Yeah, just put it back. That one came out a little bit early. I couldn't tell if he didn't quite commit to it or it just came out early. So he's going to be left with about 30-ish, maybe 35.
A little bit outside, I think,
Yeah. He's got a car razzing him in the background. Obviously not on purpose, but
definitely on purpose.
Yeah, he's trying to hit that. Not super happy with a par after being in good position.
Yeah. Playing it for birdie and then missing your opportunity.
Yep.
Not the fun way to start.
Good putt for Kyle, and Zach and I are pretty much left with formalities here.
But even still, you can see you're taking your time, going through your routine, not rushing it.
I always do the same routine. Well, hold on. We'll get to one time that I didn't much later. But I always do my same routine, even if I'm really close to the basket, just so it's ingrained, so it's habit.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's Eric with the drop-in lone par. So birdies around, except for Eric McCabe, unfortunately, with the par. You and Zackeriath moved to 5 under, and then Kyle comes in with the 3 and now is tied with Eric, moving into hole 2.
Yeah, hole 2 kind of bit Zach and I the first round. We played together both rounds. This fairway straight in front of you that is looking a little bit more like dead grass from the drone footage, that's all out of bounds to the left side, and then there's an out of bounds line on the right as well. So you can play a big hyzer out around the tree, or you can play a little bit more aggressive turnover shot. I opted for the turnover during the first round and just missed the angle completely, left it too straight, and so trying to put a little bit more turn on this one.
This looks like that same Ballista Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This one will turn on its own if I give it some juice.
And it looks like you gave it the juice. That had a nice smooth turn and just kind of finished center of the fairway.
Yeah, juice I gave it, which is nice. Zach taking a Lucid X Enforcer here, meat hook over stable, and I turned to Zach and said, let's call that an improvement, because we were both just in that fairway out of bounds, like not good tee shots.
Kyle also looks like he's throwing the Lucid X Enforcer there.
A little bit short, but with for somebody like Kyle with his forehand, I mean, he could get up to the green with just another forehand from there.
Mm-hmm.
And Emac showing off the hyzer line here, and this is just, I mean, beautiful. Like almost no danger all the way down, other than hitting that one tree, but that's a perfect shot.
Kyle going Enforcer.
And that's a great flight. A little bit of extra ground action that pushes him toward the OB, but he's safe over there.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad spot to land at all.
Zach also going Enforcer, sidearm.
Nice and smooth, too. I mean, you can tell these guys have put in time on their forehands because they can lean on them all day. Emac's approach, getting a little bit of turn. He'd have liked a little bit more, but that's not a bad result. 25, 30 feet to the left.
On the green with a putt for birdies. Ideal.
And I am not known for my forehand, but honestly, I've been working on it a lot just to have it for situations like this, because this green shapes to receive a forehand better than a backhand. And left out a little bit short. I'm around 30 feet or so.
Kyle, it doesn't look like it too much, but it is a little bit uphill because it did go a little bit deep.
Yeah, and maybe 2 inches low.
Yeah.
He'll have to settle for a par. Like I said, he was a little bit short off the tee, but still kind of frustrating to get up there and not convert.
Yeah. Distance wasn't the issue. He got plenty past it on the second.
And Emac just a bit low again. Emac, one of the best putters I've played with.
Yeah.
Just not quite in his groove right now.
Just a little bit low. And you said you're about 30-ish circles?
Yeah,
edge?
that's about right. I'll take it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Zach with definitely the shortest putt.
Yeah, up and in.
Routine for him.
Yeah, those putts were big for both of us because, we're tied for the lead, trying to distance ourselves a little bit, and that's just a confidence booster when you can hit, kind of a tester early in the round. So, yeah, that's going to move Zach and I to 6 under par on the weekend, and Eric and Kyle are going to remain at 3 under par. I don't see why you blurred out my super sweet putt here. I guess I'd say I'm upset about whatever.
We've already seen it once.
Well, yeah. I'll get over it. Hole 3 is one of my favorites on the course, honestly. This is actually a par 3 that comes in at 430 feet, and it's just about getting the shape right. You really have to either commit to that forehand out and around the trees, or I like, and Eric likes, kind of the turnover down the middle.
And it's not quite a forced turnover. It's almost like a hyzer flip with late turn.
That's right.
So it looks like you're throwing your Maverick.
This is a Maverick, and that stupid branch. I told Zach before our first round in my practice rounds, I was 3 for 3 hitting that branch.
Nice.
I didn't hit it during our first round here. I hit it this one. Frustrating. Zach smoothing out that forehand. If he gets just a little better skip, he's in a better spot to putt, but he's going to be a little bit behind that tree, unfortunately.
Kyle looks like he's also lining up the sidearm. Have you ever tried the sidearm on this hole?
Yeah, it's a safe play for me. If I'm not trying to play for 2, maybe if there's a weird wind, I'll just throw that wide sidearm and get myself, 100 feet out and just pitch up.
Yeah, even with it being downhill, 430 feet is a very long
It's
sidearm.
a long shot. I think effectively it plays. You have to throw about 370 to reach this basket, maybe 380.
And there is OB a little bit long, but it shouldn't come into play too much, right?
Long and left and then right, which is why a lot of our guys aren't taking the big hyzer out over the cart path. And this is a beautiful explorer shot for Eric that just gets eaten up by the late grass. Any forward movement, and he's got a pretty open putt at it.
Yep. Similar spot to Zach, it looks like.
So luckily for me, because I hit that branch in practice so many times, I've gotten to throw this upshot a lot of times. So
You got it dialed.
It's a weird upshot throwing that much downhill, so I felt really comfortable standing on top of it. Zach with a nice little turnover bid, but those low branches were going to keep him from getting very close.
Yeah, that's kind of the best he could have done.
Yep.
Eric is a little bit farther off the tree. He's a little bit cleaner look. Just didn't quite get it there.
Yeah, not quite the pop he's expecting. It looked like he was asking for a little bit of wind lift as well.
Kyle's kind of tucked right up against the tree there.
Yeah, you can't tell as much from this perspective, but those branches are right in his view. He's got to get under those, and let's just
do that.
Just call it good. That's a
Wow.
great putt from there. Nice commitment downhill. And the green does run away a little behind the basket, so if he airballs that, that's probably 20 or 25 coming back.
Yeah.
Not really the putt you want for par.
Not ideal.
So Emek's going to clean up his par. I'll clean up mine.
And Zach with another 5-7 foot tap in for him.
Yep.
So 3 pars.
That stupid branch. That's what I'm saying. I told the branch to
There you
shut up. Stupid. So anyway, Kyle picks up 1 on the card. Zach and I are going to stay tied at 6 under. Kyle moving up into 3rd place with 4 under, and then Emek staying at 3. Hole 4, I really like hole 4 because it's just grip it and rip it.
Yeah.
We didn't have much wind today, so 402 feet downhill, and I think it plays probably close to that, even though it is downhill. To get all the way to the basket, it's a full pull.
So Kyle is throwing his, looks like a Zach Johnson Sparkle Gladiator.
That's right. And the fairway that he's flying over is OB right there, and then the cart path left is OB. So you really have to find a good spot on this. Nice stability that's going to get you to the left, but not too far left. That's not a bad result for Kyle. A little shorter than he'd like, but not bad.
And like you said, it's a full rip. It's 400 feet, slightly downhill. But Kyle is no slouch when it comes to distance.
No.
And he threw that hard and still came up probably 30 short.
That's right. This is a little wider than I want to play it. And
Safe.
from the tee, I
Barely.
thought I was going to get just rejected by that OB flag, but snuck around just in front of it. I was safe, so that was good.
Just enough.
Yeah. I'll take safe anytime. I don't even care how it comes.
And as you can see, the average is just slightly under par. I feel like most of that is because of the OB green that you almost found,
Right.
but didn't. I feel like that's the biggest danger on this hole, is just leaving it a little bit too wide or cutting it too tight, which Eric might be doing.
Yeah, Eric's is a little high. You expect that to hit something, but unfortunately it just scoots out of bounds. And it's not a backbreaker, but that's just not fun
That's
to
a
have.
bummer, yeah. He's been having his struggles on the green, and now to have that off the tee is just not what he's hoping for.
Yeah, super frustrating. Bang, bang, my
Dang.
friend.
Okay, so squeak it in bounds, and then, hey guys, I'll just make this real quick.
I've always admired the way that Eric, when he gets, that's unlucky for Eric, just a bad spot that he has to shuttle out. Eric will get a lucky break, and it will leave him like a 40-footer, and a lot of people will be like, oh, I got lucky, I don't deserve this. He doesn't care, he just jams it.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyle's is just low as well. I guess he ended up a little shorter than we thought from the tee.
Yeah.
So ever since I saw him do that, I said, I'm going to start taking advantage of opportunities, even if I got lucky. Yeah, I was definitely fortunate to be there, but happy to make the putt. And Zach, probably with the best drive of the bunch, I would say, just unlucky behind that tree, and that's
Yeah.
part of the
Another
danger of this hole. You really want to come in a bit short of it, maybe 15, 20 short, and just let it skip on over.
Yep. Another foot shorter or farther, and he would have had a nice easy putt, but he was tucked right behind that tree. So
Yeah, not super happy about that, but par's not going to kill you there. So I'll pick one up on the card and a couple on Eric, moving me to 7 under. And we're going to move over to hole 5. Hole 5 is in my opinion, one of the most difficult holes on the course relative to par. 681 feet feels like it plays like 900 feet.
yeah,
The tee shot, the cart path on the right is OB. The fairway on the left is OB. You just want to land in bounds here, honestly. You can go a little too far so that you can't throw out and around the second set of trees, but my play right here is just something to get in the middle of the fairway. Little bit of headwind, and so nice to see that turn just a bit and stay nice in the center.
And that cart path that you just cleared is not OB.
That one is safe. The one on the right is out of bounds, yeah. And Kyle's ripping on that warhorse.
Just straight at the out of bounds. Just doesn't care. He knows it's overstable. Trust it.
Well, and for Zach and Kyle, that left-hand side is the more open, favorable side because of that short grass in the fairway, the OB fairway. That'll skip you over if you hit it on the right angle. The OB grass on the right side of the cart path, not so much. Extremely difficult to get any skip out of that. Emac is just crushed on this disc. It's actually a little too far, so he's kind of pinched off from that hyzer like we were talking about. Zach taking that overstable enforcer, trusting it over the OB, and that's going to be a little bit short, but as we can see, average scoring here is 4.28. I mean, 4 is pretty good here all day.
Yeah. If you could take a 4 every time on this hole, you're happy.
Yeah. Kyle with a nice smooth forehand, and there's that short grass skip we were talking about. That's going to put him about 35-40. And I've left myself short enough for this big hyzer, so that's what I'm going to be playing.
Is this another Ballista Pro?
Yeah, the new gold ones are very overstable, and they really like to get left. And so that's what I'm rolling with. Keep it around those branches. A little bit of a scary bounce toward the OB, but I stayed safe. That looks like it's a lot closer than it is. It's around circle's edge.
And Eric with the signature Lucid X Trespass and signature sidearm.
Yeah, everyone knows Eric for his sidearm.
There's the skip you were talking about. That is perfect.
Unless you've stood on that spot, you don't understand how difficult that shot was. And for Eric, who doesn't really throw forehands much, that's so impressive.
That is ridiculous.
So Zach just chooses to pitch up there, smart play, because that OB does narrow near the basket. Here's Kyle from 40 or so.
Maybe a little bit uphill, too.
Yeah, maybe just a bit inside it. You can't tell from the flags because they're pretty heavy, but we do have a right to left one from our perspective. And with OB behind, that's a pretty daunting putt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that right to left one
Your face said it all.
Yeah. It got in my head a little bit, so I thought I'm just going to put it up there. If I make it cool, if I hit, that's okay. I just didn't want to go long.
Yeah. Kyle had that unfortunate kick. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Unfortunate kick off the band on his first putt. Left him probably 20-25 and just left it a little short.
Yeah, just a little too low. And that's basically a drop-in birdie for Eric.
Yeah.
Something good to kickstart his round, and also, like, wow, what a birdie.
Eric McCabe birdieing one of, if not the hardest holes on the course with a sidearm. Just how you expect it.
That's just so impressive, man. So he's gonna pick one up on everybody there. He's gonna pick up 2 on Kyle, unfortunately for Kyle, with that full flight off of the band.
Yeah.
So we go from one of the hardest holes on the course to one of the easiest. This is hole 6, 324 feet uphill. It does not at all play like 324 feet. I think the effective distance to reach this is probably closer to 380 or so.
Yeah, it's very uphill.
We've got an OB bunker that you can see on the right. Yep. Eric's just about to throw over it right now. That's really the play for a right-hand backhand player, is just a big hyzer over the top. And Eric's executed basically to perfection. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a 2.7 average, so a third of a stroke.
Yeah, this is a birdie you really want to get, no doubt about it. And I just didn't get that to flat like I wanted to. The height was what I wanted, but too much hyzer, and that's going to put me 40, 45 left. Not an unacceptable miss, but a pretty bad miss on a hole like this.
Yeah. If there's one hole out here that you're looking to attack on,
This would be it.
Zach taking that enforcer again, the fusion enforcer, and just putting it on top of Eric's.
Yeah, that's what you'd expect. I mean, that's what these guys should be doing. Here's a forehand,
which is not a line I would ever look at.
I wouldn't say the traditional play.
No, even Zach, who is no sidearm slouch, was like, I've never looked at that. And Kyle just hits the lock.
Almost just rings it. Yeah, let's follow this flight real quick. That's that Warhorse, and he just over the left side of that tree and absolutely parked.
Not only is it hard to get a sidearm that far, but to do it with something as overstable as a Warhorse like that is just crazy.
Just a bit too far right for me. Yeah, not much else to say about it.
Sometimes you're going to miss those.
Yeah, sometimes you miss putts and it stinks.
Not this one, though.
No, this one was good.
That's an easy
but
one.
I was still outside two of the other guys after their
threw it
drive,
from
so cool.
Very far away.
Yep.
Are you a little bummed about that part?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was pleased.
Eric's got to be feeling good. Getting
Yeah.
a nice birdie on the hard hole, birdie the easy hole.
Yeah.
Just keep this momentum going here.
Yeah, he's hanging. I want to see another forehand birdie on that hole. I think that's the first one I've seen.
Yeah.
Just sick.
That is a ridiculous shot. Just pure power.
Yep, so everyone picks one up there on me, unfortunately. So now we're back to where we were a couple holes ago. Zach and I tied at the top. Eric and Kyle 3 shots back. Hole 7 is, for pros, one of the easier holes on the course. OB on the right side fairway there and across the left cart path. The cart path almost doesn't come into play. It's really the right side fairway that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
Players are going to throw a hyzer at that big bushy tree on the right side of the fairway and just let it swing into the middle. From there, they've got a couple of gaps to navigate to the basket.
So
And
Eric...
pretty much exactly that, yeah.
Yeah. I believe that's his Ballista Pro again, just looking for lots of distance and then a little bit of a left finish.
That's a little short from where Eric wanted to land. He's going to be having some downhill footing and then kind of a weird uphill lie. Zach has put a move on this. That's beautiful. I mean,
That's
he loves a forehand. That sets up for an easy forehand approach.
Kyle also going Ballista Pro.
It's just a bit too high and it gets
Early cabbage.
absolutely rejected by that tree.
Yeah.
That may have been okay. He might have found that cart path left if that stayed in the air long enough. And that's what I'm looking for every time, just something smooth at that tree, but I just really didn't commit to the power, honestly. The angle was fine, but that's going to obscure my angle for the hyzer into the basket.
And like you're saying, for pros, this is one of the easier holes. A 3.6 average is huge. When you're 0.4 of a stroke under par, average is a lot, especially when the eagle is an eagle 2 is almost unheard of on this hole. So lots and lots of threes for sure.
That's exactly right. Kyle just kind of giving himself an opportunity there. A little bit left on his second shot, but not bad.
You're going with a felon.
Taking that right side hyzer gap, I like that for getting that skip. As long as it's got the stability and glide, you can get all the way up to the basket. But that hyzer gap is kind of obscured for me, so I'm trying to take it inside, just under the branch in front of me. Missed the first one, and I'm feeling good. Did not miss the second one. So that's going to drop me like, I don't know, 120 out. Definitely not the outcome I was looking for here.
And like you said, Zach just playing to his strengths.
Yep, smooth forehand approach. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking maybe put this high enough to run it, but
Just
not
give it
too
a
far
chance to get
past.
there.
And I just kind of really did neither. But it's not too far past it. Not quite chain high, but that's fine.
And still, you can never be too upset with a
No.
approach that puts you 7 feet.
Yeah, pars are good out here. It's a tough course.
This one before Kyle was walking over to me and he goes, "You want to see me make this?" Yes, actually.
Yeah,
So
he almost did. That was a great bid.
he
Here's
gave
Eric.
it his all for sure. Oh no!
Just not quite getting the putter up right now. Maybe getting a little bit of a misread on the wind.
Yeah, you can see Kyle's shirt blowing a little bit there.
like I said, as much as this is an easy birdie, you'll take any pars out here.
Mm-hmm.
Zach's going to take the lone birdie, yeah.
Yeah. With the hole averaging this much under par, you would expect to see more than one birdie.
Yep.
But the fact that there's no bogeys kind of shows how it gets to be so far under par.
There's just, for right-hand, backhand players, there's just not that much danger.
Mm-hmm.
Most discs skip off of that fairway unless you turn them over to the left. So walking away with the par is okay.
Moving into hole 8, which is old hole 1.
That's right.
The big highs are down the hill. We've got Zach Johnson now taking over the lead. You're one back of him. And then Eric and Kyle are both tied at 4 under. A few back, but they're definitely still in striking range with the holes that we've got coming up.
Definitely. So hole 8 is a big hyzer out over the tree on the right side. That dead grass on the right is actually very tall and thick right now, so there is no skip out of that whatsoever. That's out of bounds, and then the water and cart path on the left are out of bounds. This OB narrows all the way to the green, and so the play is just a huge hyzer down as far as you can. There's a big priority on being safe, because if you miss it, you're going to be throwing from by 2's tee box. It's not a guaranteed up and down.
It is not what you're looking for.
And that is beautifully done by Zach.
Yeah.
It's put him about 40 feet out. And, yeah, 555, it feels like you have to throw it about 430, 440 to get to where he just did.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric matches that shot.
There's definitely an element of risk-reward for this hole where you can get it there. Most of the top players can get it that far, but you have to get it there basically in the circle. Otherwise, you're OB 200 feet away.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Kyle, a little bit shorter, but still, you'll accept that all day. We've got a little bit of wind coming off of our right shoulder. But I'm not playing this hole aggressively. I'm just trying to put it up high in the air, let it finish to the left, and give myself somewhere inside 100 is what I'd like. So I put it really high just to ensure that it gets all the way over.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, the wind coming off your right, that's kind of the ideal wind, because you're probably not going to miss too far right that way. If the wind is helping you, it's going to push you back in. So you can just give it height, power, and let the wind do all the work.
That's right. Kind of a half run, half layup here. Couple of low branches. Certainly not worth getting really aggressive with the OB behind.
Mm-hmm. Kyle looks to be getting possibly a little bit more aggressive, a little bit shorter.
Ugh. He's in his range right there. That was 50-ish.
Mm-hmm. He wanted that one for sure.
Huge deuce.
That's crazy.
I know that people get this hole, but it really doesn't happen that often. You can see the scoring average 3.36. 2 here is big time.
Yeah. We were just talking about how, man, Eric
just can't find his rhythm today, really.
Yeah. We were talking about hole 7 averaging 4/10 under par. This is almost 4/10 over par.
That's right.
Just to show the contrast in scoring average on these holes.
Just a lot of danger out here, so I play this hole for a 3. I'm happy to take it, even though Zach's made the big 2.
Yeah.
He's moving himself 2 strokes in front of me.
Yeah, he's just gaining ground these last few holes.
That's a big putt, too. I mean,
it's a big drive and a big putt.
Yeah.
Straight at the water. So he does give himself now a 2-stroke lead over you, and Eric and Kyle both parred, so they are tied still at 4 under, moving into hole 9, which we were actually playing as a par 3.
Yeah, the hardest par 3 in existence is what I would say.
Yes, without a doubt.
Very few 2s here, but the play is just to get into the fairway somewhere. It almost doesn't matter. That'll set you up for your second shot into this basket. The fairway slopes down to the left side toward the water, and so Zach just plays a safe tomahawk that's just going to land up and down. Land safe in the fairway. You heard Eric right there say, dang it. Yeah, just too much turn on that getaway. It could have come back maybe with a little bit more airspace, but just a bit too much.
And the hard part is you can't really tell because it's uphill and then downhill. You can't really
see the landing.
Tell where your disc went.
That is
inbounds.
A crush from Kyle with a warship.
Yes, that's a mid-range.
He told me that was the first disc he got from his allotment.
Oh,
like
brand
3
new.
years ago. It's pretty awesome.
Wow.
So I'm taking the hyzer plague just kind of out at those trees. This does have potential to skip down, but the grass is relatively thick, so usually you get one kind of skip and then some checks. I would have been upset if that went out of bounds, but that is the risk you run playing that.
Yeah. And if there's a place to go out of bounds from where you would have been, would be wide open. Where
left
Eric
side is fine.
He's got trees right in his face.
And the left side is the better side of the fairway as well. You've got a more open approach to the basket. So Eric's approaching with a suspect and gets some ground action that you don't usually see.
Yeah.
This grass is usually pretty thick, and that gave him an unfortunate skip.
It did stay in bounds, but barely.
Yep. Zach leaning on that forehand, and that's picture perfect.
I believe that's his justice, right?
That's right. I've been working on these little touch forehands because this fits the shape of the green. With that right to left slope, I feel like I can throw this in and keep it close. Maybe give it a half run. Let's call it a quarter run.
A quarter run? Okay.
Half of a half. Math.
That is, I've done the math, and it checks out. So Kyle kind of, like, you played the sidearm to avoid the skip, where Eric had the lucid plastic, which skipped a lot. Kyle went with the soft harp rather than like a VIP harp or something.
Yeah, just let it sit.
That.
And Eric's putt that he's been waiting to rise finally rises.
Too much now.
Yeah, and that's high left side chains and out.
Nice routine par. I think it was Zach after your tee shot. Just said routine and walked away. Like
nice
that's exactly
routine.
what this is. Yeah.
That's how you draw it up. Yeah, this is a hole that 4 feels pretty bad on, even though it's basically impossible to get it to.
Yeah. You would have to throw it in, I feel like.
Yep, that's exactly right. And Eric, unfortunately, is going to end our front 9 with a 5 there.
Not what you're looking for, especially on your home course. So we have Zach Johnson at 9 under in the lead, Robert yourself at 7 under, and then Kyle Webster in 3rd with a 4 under, and Eric unfortunately dropping to 4th place with a 2 under par.
Right. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Join us on the back 9 when we catch the conclusion, or will we catch the conclusion on the back
mystery.
9 of this event. Thanks for tuning in, guys.